Thank you so much. I should have worn orange, yeah? Yeah. How are you guys doing? Good? You're still okay? You need to stretch? You're okay to hear? You can listen now? Yeah? Okay. Thank you. Love you too. Thank you. Okay. Are you guys ready? I'm not. No, I always, it's so difficult to be ready for 20,000 people. I always say, how do you get ready for 20,000 people? It took 20 years. It took 20 years. I still, coming up on stage, speaking to 20,000 people, I would not have done it the first day. Every time I go up on stage, it's still very overwhelming. So that's why I need to look at beautiful faces, who smiles. So anyway, it's our first day of VCon. Yeah, welcome to VCon, and it's my first day up on stage in VCon. So actually, I was just thinking of speaking about the real person, inside in each and every one of us. There is this spirit that wants to be free. This spirit is unstoppable. This spirit is indomitable. The very nature of the soul, he wants to be free. You cannot put any single person in a cage. You cannot put him in any form of restriction, because he would die and he would be unhappy, and he would die. Literally speaking, die in terms of, not being happy. So most of us, there's no difference between you and me. There's no difference with any single person. The spirit inside is always there, wanting to break free. I'm sure we heard of this. And this is really what it's all about. How do I break free? Break free from what? So many things. We have our material conditionings, our physical conditioning, our mental conditioning that restricts us. It restricts. Just like, really, for the spirit, there's nothing that you cannot do. Do you know that each and every one of you can actually sing? Each person has a very unique voice. There's a trainer today, he's getting very famous. He's able to make someone sing who never sang before. To break free, I'm not gonna do that, okay? I'm just giving you a point. But he was explaining that each person, each soul has a unique voice inside. Isn't it that each and every one of us love to sing? We all want to sing in the bathroom, Yeah, and nobody would hear it. We'd love to sing. Like this, even if it's out of tune. Or we have to get drunk. Not me, but most people would have to get drunk to sing. Why? They have to sort of they want to break free. See? So this guy was explaining, and I do accept his explanation. He's saying that the reason you could not sing is only because you have this inhibition, this restriction in you that's stopping you from singing. this fear, what people would say, there's just something there that's stopping you from singing. And that's not just on the singing part. So many other things. Do you know that you could also fly? So what is this, you know? I don't have wings. You flew here, isn't it? This want to be free brought someone to discover the plane, how an airplane flies. Because they want to experience this freedom to fly. That's why planes were invented. Because someone said, hey, why not? If birds could fly, I want to fly too. This is the soul. This is the spirit speaking. So someone brave enough, the Wright brothers said, you know, let's try to fly. And everyone was laughing at them. You know the history. Today, airplanes are flying hundreds of people across the globe. We're all flying by some other means. But to think that we cannot fly is that very thing that's imprisoning you. You know what I'm saying? You've seen people that are very good in sports, gymnastics, and we admire them. How do they do that? The gymnastics, you know, they get to do tumble on a, you know what I'm saying? Whatever they do, it's just like amazing. How could they do that? We want to be that. But in fact, we are that. Because the Spirit is just amazing. You are amazing. But see, material conditioning has set you to think, oh, I'm like this. Somebody told you, you're like this. Put a box around you and restricted and told you what you can and cannot do. And you start to believe it. And today, pretty much most of us were thinking, oh, this is it. And that's an imprisonment. Most of these people that we see, that we admire, who has achieved something in life, whether it's in sports, whether in flying. You have people like flying. You've seen them people flying, right? They don't have wings, but they invented suits that they could fly and, you know what I mean, soar around mountains. Things are getting invented every day because of this want to be free. We're all wanting to be free because we're in prison. This material conditioning is an imprisonment of the spirit. So VCon, one of our main purpose or intent is somehow to break that shell that's imprisoning you. You know, this fear, you know, your worry, you're conscious, people would look at you. You know what I mean? Do I look good? Would I be accepted? You know, how do I look? You know, we're so conscious about this. So freedom is really what we are about. We'd like to break free. So how do we break free? How do we break out of this imprisonment? It's really a question. So how do we get free? How do we break out from this imprisonment? You know, one time I remember when I was a kid, I had a puppy. And we had to put him in a box, like a cage thing, because you're still training them, you know, where to, you know, do their thing. So for a month, he's there, you know, on this cage, and you let them go during the day, and at night you bring him there. So after a while, I broke down the cage, and he would still be there. So I gave him his place where he should be sleeping, he would still go to that spot where he was trained, conditioned to be there, that small 4 feet square of a box. That's conditioning. So you have conditioning. You have to figure out what this conditioning you were brought up with. Whether you know that certain cultural barrier you were told you cannot do. Certain things that formed your belief, and you actually start thinking, okay, this is the way things are done. We gotta do it this way. We cannot do it another way. Those are restrictions. Every time you think something cannot be done, it's a restriction. Somebody would come to you and tell you, let's do this. You would say, no, cannot be. So I learned one thing in the early days. When somebody comes to me and tells me, this cannot be done, you know what I say? Why not? You should ask. And you'll be amazed with this magic word wherein you throw it back, you say, why not? The guy who's saying this cannot be done has no answer. When you say, why not? The guy telling you cannot be done would have no answer. Most of them, 99%, who would tell you cannot be done, has no answer when you say, why not? So if he cannot answer, why not? If he cannot answer your why not, what does that mean? What does that mean? He doesn't know. He doesn't know. So if he doesn't know, what does that mean? It can be done. Not by him, by someone who knows. So you got to find that person who knows. Somebody says, cannot be done. What do you say? We cannot do this. Do this. You also have to ask why. Don't be a blind follower. Do this. Don't do this. It's a very simple magic word to ask, and it's very powerful. I realize once you start asking, when you start asking why and why not, you're seeking, genuinely seeking. And because you're seeking, you'll come out, you'll be able to figure out things. And this is part of breaking out of your shell, breaking out of your confinement. Because you were told before, just stay here. This is what you should do. You should live your life like this. You should ask why. Why is life like this? You should ask. Because we're so afraid to ask. Because, you know why you're afraid to ask? Because there is an answer, and you don't want to know the answer, because by knowing the answer, it means you have to do something about it. And doing something about it is a lot of hard work. And most people just want to be lazy. In fact, really, there's no lazy people. They're just not motivated. No one's going to be lazy if you're excited about something. You're not lazy when you're excited about something. I remember when I was a kid, with whatever little few years I went to school, waking up for school was just so difficult. Because I wasn't excited. But if you tell me, we're going to the beach, we're going for a holiday with friends, and we're going to play or do something, I couldn't sleep. I wake up before the alarm clock wakes me up because there's an excitement. So today, if you're not waking up excited in the morning, you're dead. You've become dead. If you're not waking up, if you're dragging yourself out of bed in the morning, it means you've died. R.I.P. You've died. When did you die, my friend? You've been living a life of a dead person. What is a dead person? Just accepting. You know, you're being pushed. Okay, stay here. Fall in line here, you fall in line there. Go to school here, you go to school there. Go to work here, you go to work there. Like a freaking robot. We have become robots. Man-made one. We're not. So, we have become dead. So how can you live a life if you're dead? So you got to find out, when did I die? What happened? When I say, when did I die? When did you stop having ambitions? You know, when you see good people that are very talented, they're good at one thing, and you just admire them, right? You know what they did to get there where they are? You know, the only difference they have with you is what? Hard work. They practice that particular skill. That's why they got where they are. That's the only difference, really. They practice. So we admire, oh, they're so good, they're so good. But, okay, fine, you like it? You want to be a singer? You want to be a gymnast? You want to be good in a few languages? You want to, I don't know, you want to be good in business? What do? You got to practice. It's the daily practice you put into it. It's the daily practice. So, what do you practice today shows what you have. Whatever skill you have today, whatever talent you have today, is the practice that went to it. Like, how much practice did you put into this? How much practice? How much time would you put into it? How much effort would you put in to break loose? You just sit there and wait for someone to hand you the key? Huh? If you're in jail, what do you do? If you're in cage of something, what do? You just wait. Would you not be just trying to, breaking loose? You heard of the word, just breaking loose. I just want to break loose. You see, I've seen the few leaders that went up on stage. Are they like crazy or what? Huh? You could not sit down while they're speaking. Just shouting, and then because they've experienced this breaking free. They've experienced breaking out of their shell, their imprisonment, their confinement. And they found this thing that, hey, I could do a lot of things. Hey, and that's so exciting. Every day you realize, hey, I could do this. Oh, wow, I could sing. Oh, wow, I could dance. Oh, wow, I could do this. I was just watching this guy who had Alzheimer's. He's an Egyptian guy. He's in his 60s, successful businessman. And he found out he's got Alzheimer's. In just a few months or a year, he'll be forgetting things, So he was saying it was like a ton of brick that fell on his head. It's like life is ending. And he said, I want to do something I've never did in my life. I want to learn how to dance. So he started dancing. He danced, he got an instructor. He's at 60. He started dancing, the ballroom, all the style of dancing. He got into dancing, he started winning competition. Then he didn't realize that his dancing actually extended his disease, It helped him in his health and all of these things. Now he's going around the world teaching people, and he wasn't a dancer. But it was something he wanted to do since he was a kid. For some reason, it didn't happen. But he just said, hey, I'm going to do it now. I don't have much time. This is my dream. I want to be a dancer. He just started dancing. And he was able to dance. He won trophies at the age of 60. The guy was like fat businessman. Not fit, but he got fit. He put his mind into it. He break loose. And he's just like, he's teaching around the world right now, dancing for Alzheimer's patients. And they've realized there's a connection between this, that it cures Alzheimer's. And I was reading that story. I was just like, wow, amazing. It's unbelievable. What people, it's just not one. I know you've heard a lot of stories. Are they unique people? They just kind of like discovered something. You know, in this life, we live this life every day. We bumped into people with things. Life is really about discovering things. Isn't it? It's not. How do you discover things? By just staying in bed? You got to go out. You got to go to VCon. You got to go out there and find out. What can I do? How can I be part of helping humanity? Inventions. The mother of inventions are brought about by someone thinking, how can I help? How can I solve a problem? You know, they just don't complain. They just don't, life is not treating me well. They just don't complain. An entrepreneur, an inventor, when he sees something, there's a need for this. Let me think about how to fill that out. And that's how they come up with amazing ideas and they become successful. Because there's an actual need for that. Something, if there's a problem and you need something, this requires something. And if you fix it, everyone would need that particular thing because they face the same problem. You know what I'm saying? So it's amazing how, from inventions, from history, if you look at our history of mankind, how we have grown in technology, like the world we live in today. What these people have come up, are they just basically geniuses? No, the ingenuity is already there inside in every one of us. You're an artist. You're a genius. Each and every soul is. But you gotta find that. You gotta work on that diamond. Each and every one of us, we're diamonds. We gotta work on it. It's a lot of hard work. The polishing of that diamond. But if you don't polish it, it's not gonna shine. Nobody could do this for you. Shining, the work on shining your diamond, building your indomitable spirit. You know the word indomitable? You know the meaning? It's someone who doesn't give up. This spirit of, they don't accept failure. Even if they lost already, they don't accept it. They just stand up again. You beat them up to the ground, they stand up again. You beat them to the ground, it's not Rocky Balboa, right? Indomitable spirit. The guys that got beaten up, that was the whole the movie was about, right? So this indomitable spirit, you must kindle it. You must make it alive. And you just couldn't just wake it up by jumping and shouting and doing rah, rah, rah. You know what I always fear? It's not that I fear it. Like VCon, this next 5 days would really excite you. All these people you would see coming up on stage, they're real people. They're people like you, like us, right? and they have their own struggles, but they made it. They went through a lot of challenges, but they succeeded. So we get excited hearing and listening to them. We get inspired. But the thing is, see, when you go back home again, you go back to your cage. You go back to your cages, and you think, yeah, Vicon was nice. We heard this guy, we heard that guy. But you know, India is different. See how we've been restricted? Don't you see the restriction? And who does this restriction? We just kind of like follow it. You're like this, you're like that. Oh, okay, I'm like this, I'm like that. You start thinking that way. What the hell? Come on, wake up. Mature. The world is one. There's only one. People are all the same everywhere you go in the world. Why is there boundaries and restriction? And until we live life with restriction and boundaries, then we'll always have this problem we're having. Racism, right? Oh, that business or that business, or this or that. It's important for me to discuss this because this is inner core thing. You know, the network marketing thing, the ABC of network marketing, you could learn that. I didn't went to a school of network marketing. It's just really very simple. Network marketing is very simple. It's relationship with people. It's relationship. Now, if you suck in relationship, you should start network marketing because you're going to learn how to deal with people. You're going to realize, okay, you're going to realize that not everyone is like you. Every person is a unique person. And you cannot turn them to be like you. That's what we do. When we get married or have someone, relationship with someone, whether friends, we want to turn them to be like us. You got to be like me. If not, we're not friends. What the hell? Why do you have to give me that restriction? I need a visa to... What the hell with the restriction for? Why? Why do we need this? Why do you have to label me? What's the labeling for? Okay, fine with the name, so you could... But what's with the other labels? Why is that for? So we got to learn how to break away from this. Because without breaking away, it's going to be difficult. Because your greatest enemy is yourself. I've learned this. And I know you heard this from your upline. Your greatest battle, even in this business, is yourself. Your greatest battle in life is with yourself. So when somebody is giving you a problem or someone is appearing to be a challenging person for you, you should be happy this person is right in front of you. You know why? Because he'll make you strong. Because the most difficult opponent you will ever have is inside. He sleeps with you. He's in the bathroom with you. He's in the showers with you. Wherever you go, he's inside. And what is this enemy? Okay, your fears. Okay, your enviousness. Oh, how come he's got that? Oh, how come he has that? How come I don't have it? I didn't get enough. Oh, he's lucky. I'm not lucky. It's his fault. My upline You know Dev. You know Dev. It's his fault. They would want his fault. It's my upline's fault. It's everyone's fault except you. You heard this before? You agree? Yes? It's everyone's fault except me. I'm the best person ever in the planet. I don't make mistakes. I'm perfect. Everyone is just so imperfect. That's how we all think. So, that's why in relationships, downlines, upline, husband, wife, whatever relationship, we don't have the patience. We fault find a little bit. Oh, why did you do that? We could not. It's just like everybody's so imperfect except you. And you want to make them like you. They got to do it the way you do it. Or else it's not going to work. Why? Because you didn't do it the way I will do it. Do you know there were people before you who did something their way and they were successful? If you try to impose your thing on me, the thing is, I'm not you. I don't know how to do your thing. Can you just leave me alone? In VCon, we're not trying you to do something you're not. That's why I cannot teach you a particular thing. Do it this way. I don't know what's the thing in India or in this country or that country. Everyone, everywhere you go, every person you talk to, I say it's a whole different alien planet that you've landed. Every person you meet is a whole different alien and planet, has his own world. And I don't know the person you're going to be meeting tomorrow. So one thing you have to understand, that this person here, okay, is a whole individual person, totally different from you. He's got his own imprisonment himself. Okay? And there's just his key, the key to release his imprisonment is also inside of him. You can't give him key to be, I can't give you the key to be released. There's no magic to this. The key is also inside you. Only you can free yourself. Only you. There's no leaders here who would have the magic word to free you from this, whatever, stopping you from becoming successful. Only you. So it's a, this is, if there's a, if you are to, there's this, the whole preparation, you're fighting with an invisible foe. When somebody tells you, hey, where's the enemy? You go like, where's the enemy? Your enemy is not these people here. Your enemy is not your in-laws. It's not your wife. It's not your husband. It's not your kids. It's not the government. It's not this. They're not your enemy. Your enemy is inside. Is invincible. You don't see it. And the enemy takes the form of you. And this is scary. And this is the truth. Your enemy is taking your form. Your enemy is pretending he's you. No, this is me. Your enemy is you. Now, how do you fight that? Scary. How do you fight? How do you fight an enemy you don't see? How do you fight an enemy, okay, who pretends, who takes the form of you? Man, that's tough. That's a tough enemy to fight. But in reality, that is the enemy. Very important for us to, have this foundation. So then it would leave us from making excuses. But you know the point that I'm trying to say? This is really the battle. So learning this whole VCon, right? What you get these different tools. You get all these different learning. These are like tools. These are motivational tools. You need that. It's like your protein, you know what I mean? It's your protein shake. It's your vitamins. And sometimes we need that in the beginning. But the person with indomitable spirit doesn't need no shake protein, doesn't need any vitamins. That spirit is just indomitable. You cannot suppress it. Because how can you suppress that spirit? No water, no fire could burn it. No, nothing can stop. Do you know this? You heard of the actual spirit, the very you cannot be burned by fire, moistened by water. You don't die. Even death cannot stop the spirit. That's how indomitable the spirit is. Cannot be stopped. Now, so here, he's restricted. He's thinking, I'm going to die. He's thinking, I'm going to get sick. Hey, you don't. It's just your vehicle. It's just your car that would get sick. What happened to you? My dear spirit soul, what happened to you? You're now thinking you're this material body. You forgot the very you. And you cannot start anything without knowing this simple truth. What the spirit is and how indomitable the spirit is. It's eternal. It doesn't die. So if you find out today, oh, I don't die. Oh, wow, that's pretty, wow. Whew. Then I have nothing to fear. If you actually understand that you don't die, and truly understand it, what is there to fear? You know all of your fears today? You fear you might not have money tomorrow, right? You fear you might lose your job. You fear this, you fear that. You know, all those fears are connected to the mother of all fears. And what is the mother of all fears? Death. Death is the mother of all fear. But if you know death is only with the body, then you have nothing to fear. Sounds like a product, right? Have no fear. Is that Nike? But it's true. Have no fear. I know today you have a lot of fears. We all do. We fear so many things. But it's not bad to fear. Because fear helps you also. So I'm not for not having fear. No, have fear by all means, but overcome your fears. Because fear is based on ignorance. Fear is of the unknown. You only fear because you don't know something. Like in the beginning, you meet someone. Like when I first met Dato. You know, he's Indian in my country. Different. You know what I mean? He's darker than me. So my friends and family are saying, be careful. You know, you don't know him. He can fly out anytime. You'll be stuck here with all of this. They were afraid. I was afraid. But how do you overcome fear? By getting to know. And once you get to know this person, the very person you fear is now married to you. Is it not? The very person you feared before, you end up marrying. You know the funny thing, most of the closest people that are in my life today are people I don't know before. Are people I don't know. They're my best partners and friends, people that I don't know. So of course, I know your parents all told you, don't talk to strangers, right? But in networking, Baba, talk to strangers. Okay, I'm your upline, I'm your new parents in this business, and I tell you, talk to strangers. You have to talk to strangers. Okay? So this imprisonment, I had that barrier too. I didn't want to talk to strangers because my mama said, don't talk to strangers. Strangers are bad people. They're going to kidnap you. They're going to give you candy and snatch you. Okay, it's there. So you're thinking, don't think. But I had to break that barrier. So when I broke it with VJ, I broke the barrier. I talked to a stranger. I invited a stranger in my house. Oh my God. That was tough. But that's how it is. Everyone you're going to meet is a stranger. But make him or her a stranger only in one day. Only in one day. Get to know them. And knowing them is not, oh, the IR number, this, oh, he's my downline. Do you even know his birthday? His anniversary? Is he married? Does he have a husband, a wife, children? You gotta get to know. Because you know, I'll tell you a secret. See, if you just sign up, one person, you just sign her up, and you never bothered getting to know her family, God, that's a tireless work for you. You're going to be working very hard. See, when VJ met with me, he made sure he met everyone in my family, even my kids. So even when VJ was away, and it was just on a Sunday, okay? I want to have like downtime. My 4-year-old daughter would say, Papa, have you done the bomb? She's following up. Papa, have you done the thing today? Because Uncle VJ, you know, he said you have to do it on a regular basis. What the hell, you know, like he's in my house. I got invaded. So you don't need to follow up. Do you need to follow up? The wife would nag the husband, right? Hey, have you done it? You know, have you done it? And so when you speak of relationship, it's not just one. You got to know the mother, the thing, everyone. Because they're going to be part of your follow-up. What do you call this? Right? You're always worrying about how to follow up. How do I follow up? How do you follow up? You don't need to follow up. Let the husband, let the wife, let the children, let the grandmother, especially the mother-in-law, do the follow-upping. They'll do better follow-ups than you. You agree? Especially the mother-in-law. And the man would just want to stay out of home and do their presentation instead of staying at home and being nagged. So relationship is the most important thing. So when we build relationship, like I remember when Dato VJ, we didn't really talk about, okay, this is networking, A to Z. When you talk to someone, you have to do this. This is the technique and all of this thing. You know what? We never do that. That's why I keep on repeating and telling you guys, I go, actually, VJ never really showed me the plan, to come to think of it. I never remembered. He didn't show me the plan. I went to study the plan because I was into it already. But he worked on the very core that he needed to work on me. What is that? He showed me who I need to be fighting with. So when I have issues, I take it upon myself. I don't run to my upline and complain and bitch about things. I took it upon. I know the fight was not my upline. I know the fight was not in the company. I know the fight was not with the media or anything. It's just here. I know what to do. The rest is easy. You know, when you won the battle inside, the rest is easy. You get me? What can you not fight with if you fought the battle inside? There's nothing, there's no more fight to, if you won the battle inside, fight is done. Huh? There's no more fight. There's just a whole resolution. You know when I speak of resolution? When you have yourself, when you have become friends with yourself, everything is resolved. You know when they talk about resolution, it's not some paper from a lawyer, oh, we resolve this. No. No resolution could be worked out if there's no resolution inside. So the first resolution you have to be doing is reconciling all of these things you're having inside, all this garbage stuff you have inside, all these fears that you have inside. You must resolve that by you. I cannot resolve it for you. I cannot. It's just not going to happen. You are the perfect person to resolve that very issues that you have. Let's not spell it out. Everybody, we all have our issues, and you know what I'm talking about. Anything that would tell you it cannot be done, I'm lazy, okay, it's someone's fault, okay, I did everything, I did my best, I tried, it didn't work out. That's your enemy talking. Okay? And the problem is, see, you fed that enemy. You feed that enemy every day. And it has become the strongest one. You know, there's this saying that there's these two dogs or two wolves inside of you, the bad and the good one. Okay? So think of it. You have these two dogs inside you. They're wolves. One good wolf, one bad wolf. Who do you think would win amongst the two? The good or the bad? No, the one you feed the most. The one you feed the most. So, this is basically it. So, you have to analyze right now, okay, what am I feeding right now? What are you feeding? You don't need to answer that. Meditate upon it. Who do you feed the most today? You're wondering why this negativity is stronger. Because that's what you're feeding the most. And your positivity is just so little. You have to go to VCon to have a little spark of it. Because here, we only feed your good dog. We only feed that wolf, that tiger, that lion. You get me? So you know what to feed? You know that bad dogs starve it. Starve it until it dies. You don't need it. Do you need that false ego? Do you need that thing? Do you need that pride? Do you need that enviousness, that greed, that all of this thing that this you fed so many years? That's what you fed. That's what we fed. And you're wondering, it's so strong and it's controlling you right now. But don't lose hope, because the reason you're here, because this other dog is fighting. This other dog, despite its weakness right now, it's just fighting its best. Okay, and it's gonna win. It's fighting, and it's getting nourished in the V. Have it nourished. Let it eat. Let it break free. Because this dog, okay, would be your tool to success. This dog would take you and help you break away from all your limitations. And this is what VCon is all about. Thank you so much. Good evening.